What's going on, folks? Ted from Immersion here, and we have a new Dragon Plus article that's, or magazine, I guess, if you will. It is the digital replacement, which is still unfortunate to me, of the old Dragon magazine, but they release monthly. I think it's monthly, and we have one now, and it gives us some more information into stuff we can expect in the future. So we're going to skip over the Wild Beyond the Witchlight in here, and jump to the next article, which is about Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. By the way, if you do like what I do here and like this constant coverage of all different things Dungeons and Dragons, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's just a small click for you, and it does a whole bunch for me. So, we get more information here about our good friend, the Elder Brain Dragon. And then we have a little bit of statistics. So we can now confirm that this massive resource delivers 70 creature varieties, counting the different age categories, including Sapphire, Amethyst, Crystal, Emerald, and Topaz dragons, Deep dragons, sea serpents, Moonstone dragons, further Great Worms for chromatic, metallic, and gem versions, and then aspects for Bahamut and Tiamat. It also features some Dragonborn champions and humanoid dragon servitors. And then it also talks about dragon-adjacent creatures. Here's our good friend, the Eye Drake, we mentioned in the video earlier today. It says Volos discussed about the concept of how new beholders are made. The Eye Drake is what happens when a beholder becomes obsessed with a dragon. Perhaps a deep dragon is encroaching on a beholder's territory, or a sapphire dragon is stalking it. When the beholder becomes obsessed with a dragon up to the point that its dreams are affected, that's when you end up with a large beholderkin that is vaguely dragon-like, hence the Eye Drake. In its basic outline, an Eye Drake resembles both a dragon and a beholder. It looks like a winged draconic creature, but it has no true limbs, and those wings are made of eye stalks. Its mouth is perpetually open, showing a large central eye that emits a breath-like wave of anti-magic energy. It really is a breath weapon of a dragon that is an anti-magic cone of a beholder. Two great tastes that taste great together. Then we have the Elder Brain Dragon, right? Typically, an Elder Brain lives in the center of a Mind Flayer community in an immobile pool. Rather than implanting a tadpole into a dragon, the Elder Brain forms a sac on the dragon's back and covers it with a membrane and tentacles, transforming, that's what I was talking about earlier, into a hideous aberration. It also extends its tentacles into the dragon's brain to take control of the body. This process occurs when the Mind Flayer colony manages to capture a dragon. Teams of Mind Flayers bind the dragon and subject it to this gruesome transformation. The horror of this monster is it brings the Elder Brain to you, taking a creature that would usually be immobile and giving it flight. It's worryingly mobile because it now has a fly speed of 80 feet and can hover using psychic levitation as much as its membranous wings. The Elder Brain also takes over the dragon's breath weapon mechanism and spews a stream of brine filled with tadpoles to begin performing ceremorphosis as it transforms the humanoids around it. Characters continue to take psychic damage even when infested with a tadpole, stabilizing if they're reduced to 0 hit points but remaining unconscious until they transform into a Mind Flayer. In addition to the traditional claw, bite, and breath weapons of a dragon, the Elder Brain Dragon can also grapple with its tentacles. True to its nature as a psionic beast, one of its legendary actions is to break a spellcaster's concentration when they're grappled, ending their spell effects. It's really going to mess with parties. If you weren't terrified of the Elder Brain Dragon before, you definitely should be now. Let's move on and see. There's a couple other things. We have a little bit on Strixhaven here, including some things that people are talking about the return, potentially, of feat trees. We do know that there are no more subclasses in Strixhaven Curriculum of Chaos. There are instead feats that are kind of going to replicate that. So let's take a look, right? Each of the 5 colleges has their own mascot creatures, and you can see they're listed here. Spirit Statue mascot for Lorehold, Art Elemental mascot for Prismari, Fractal mascot for Quandrix, Inkling mascot for Silverquill, and a Pest mascot for Witherbloom. I'm guessing that's the Pest one right there. One of the first opportunities characters have to engage with the mascot, or engage with them as part of their studies. When a bunch of mascots escape and run amok, the faculty member who is cataloging them asks for your help. When the characters find the mascots, they also learn about the game of Mage Tower. It's a magical game played at Strixhaven and requires one team to try and steal the other team's mascot and bring it to their side for a win. Once they discover this game, the characters are encouraged to form a team. As part of that, they'll have to pick their mascot. Our hope is that the players pick a mascot they're attached to, and it becomes part of the experience, and possibly even a member of the party. Characters have already taken the Strixhaven Initiative feat, which provides access to spells common to your chosen college, can also choose the Strixhaven Mascot feat from 4th level onwards. So that's 2 feats right there. Strixhaven Initiate, followed by Strixhaven mascot. This allows them to cast Find Familiar as a ritual and have the familiar take the form of the mascot. I assume this is going to be a slightly more powerful, more advanced version of a familiar, similar to the ones we saw that were released for the Adventures League as part of that cool little AR thing we had for Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden, where we had like the sentient gelatinous cube mini, things like that. Sorry, my email for work's going off. This feat's abilities include gifting one of your attack actions to your mascot, which it carries out using it as a reaction, and teleporting to swap places with the mascot if it's with mascot familiar, rather, if it's within 60 feet. This teleport action can be taken once per long rest or repeated if you expend a second level slot or higher. Mascots have also inspired a magic item that's as adorable as it's useful. The cuddly Strixhaven mascot is a common wondrous item that's perfect for snuggling. This tiny magic toy can be pressed to your leg, arm, or shoulder and remains there for 1 hour, where it will help you fight off fear. When you make a saving throw to avoid or end the frightened condition, and this toy is on your person, you can roll with advantage once per long rest. So that's really exciting, and for some of you who might be saying to yourself, well, I don't really like the concept of these feats or this Strixhaven mascot thing, more importantly to me is it is instilling a new mechanic for how feats work into 5th edition, which is ripe for homebrewing. Okay, so this is the concept of giving a feat early on that gives you access to some spells, and then later on a secondary feat, or people are calling them feat trees. These were very common in older edition, and they were really trees. This is kind of more like a feat line, one and then the other one. They were very much feat trees that branched out all over the place in older editions, where you took a starter feat and it could go in one of many different directions depending on how you went after it. So this is exciting to me because this now allows us as homebrewers, world builders, and so on to come up and use this as a template to add this kind of variety and things to our own home games, which is something that I will definitely be doing because there has been things that I haven't really figured out if it fit as a race or a subclass or a magic item, and perhaps these feat kind of extended feat lines or minimal feat trees, whatever you want to call them, will give me the customizability I want for certain things. And again, there's no reason you couldn't obviously give people access to a feat for free, give them the first one free and then hook them in for the rest of the line as you go from there. All right, let's keep going. So we also had the D&D Annual 2022. If you're unfamiliar, an annual is a thing that's primarily used in the UK as a holiday gift. It is not, as it says here, it's an adjective here occurring every year. The 2021 version of this traditional UK holiday gift pulled off a tightrope act worthy of a headline spot at the Witchlight Carnival's Big Top. As well as introducing D&D to those new to tabletop, it's also packed with enough goodies to entertain lifelong fans. So here's the annual 2022. Here's the 2021, or a little bit of stuff. It says, where the 2021 book served as an intro to D&D, this time we focused on the steps of the game. You'll find details of how to get into the game and roll your first character, alongside advice on how to take your first steps into becoming a DM. And that's built into 4 pillars we wanted to showcase, which are lore, gameplay, community, and puzzles. So these are basically like I guess from folks that are in the UK or other places where they've have these annuals have described them to me as basically like a book or like almost like a magazine thing that are often given to children around the holidays, and they have a variety of different things, and you usually would get them themed after something, right? It could be superheroes, it could be Disney. In this case, it's Dungeons and Dragons. So as you can see here, there's a D&D word search. There's a little bit of a dice disaster, a little mini game. It says alongside DMing advice from such luminaries as Matt Mercer, Travis McElroy, Mark Humes. In-depth lore drops look at races such as Aarakocra, Goliaths, Furbolg, and Genasi. There's also a discussion of the Drow as we chatted with Bob Salvatore, talking about the new types of Drow in the new Drow novel, the new Drizzt novels. There's a little bit here about Drow. You can see Menzo Baranzan. As well as a tour of the Forgotten Realms that takes its storied locations, Icewind Dale, Neverwinter Wood, Menzo Baranzan again. A little bit about boss fights, as you can see here, and it will be available on HarperCollins the 30th of September, so just a couple days from now. Okay. So that's cool. I'm going to skip Warriors of Waterdeep. It's a mobile game. I don't really care. Sorry if that's your thing. It's not mine. The D&D celebration is this weekend. I will be hopefully live streaming at least 2 parts of it. Saturday, there's something where they're going to be talking more about Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. And I believe Sunday, there is also a section on the future of Dungeons and Dragons. We know where we stand till the end of this year with Wild Beyond the Witchlight out now, Fizban's next month, Strixhaven the following month, but we really don't know what the future holds. We do know there's a little bit that's been alluded to, the 2 classic campaign settings, as well as another one, and the other stuff we've talked about it in the past of what's coming next year, but hopefully we'll get a little more insight into that later on. And then here again, here's the breakdown. So, where is it? 2 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday, Fizban's Treasury of Dragons revealed. Join James Wyatt as he unlocks the treasury and discusses rich, immersive dragon-themed campaigns that go beyond the layers of D&D's most iconic monsters. As a reference, James Wyatt was the writer of the 3.5 Draconomicon. He is also the writer of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. This is the best person for the job. I'm very excited for this. And then on Sunday, where is it? 3:30 p.m., Future of D&D, Jeremy Crawford, Chris Perkins, Liz Shue, Ray Winninger, right? Those are the people we want. That's the lead lore designer, adventure writer, Chris Perkins, Ray Winninger, the president of the company, Jeremy Crawford, who's like the lead, rules designer, and Liz Shue, I think it's pronounced Shue. I could be saying that wrong. That's just, I'm even thinking of Elizabeth Shue from like the 80s. But anyway, I don't actually know who she is, so I'm gonna learn as the course of the weekend goes on. But a close look to what the future holds for the world's greatest role-playing game. Very excited. Again, I hope to live stream it and share that experience with you guys all live. Okay, got some NPC spotlights here we can click through. Magic stuff. A little bit about the Nerds D&D stuff. By the way, I've still yet to go out and find any of these. So I'm going to do that at some point, maybe this weekend, and then I will make more videos on that for you. A little bit about the best of the Dungeon Masters Guild, which is always nice. A couple new Paladin Oaths, it looks like. Big Paladin focus, very cool. Some classic stuff, just talking about what's going on in the past. Download the Quest for the Hearthstone character stats. We can see Strongheart and Warduke, a handful of the old characters. A new map. Dragon Horde trinkets, which are pretty cool. So we've got a tiny bell of pearlescent quartz with a clapper of gold. When struck, it rings with an enormous sound. You can see there's a whole bunch more. We'll just grab one, this one. A +1 sentient great axe that insults the wielder when they attack. Or this one, a fine fur cloak with an intact animal head on the collar's shoulder. Prolonged exposure to the magic of the Horde makes this head blink and yawn from time to time, which is very cool. And then a little bit of an article on Amanda Heyman, who is super sweet and super nice. I met her at, I didn't even put the connection. I knew her name from somewhere. She was at Gen Con at the Kobold Press booth. I interviewed her and Wolfgang Bauer twice. So we talked about all of her work on Kobold Press stuff. I completely spaced that she was the leader behind Strixhaven. She's super sweet, super nice, a really awesome person. I'm really excited to see what she brings to Strixhaven. So this is a little bit just about her history and things like that. And then a little bit about the staff. And then what we can expect next issue, which is also going to be dealing possibly with Dungeon Academy No Humans Allowed, something we've already talked about in the past. This sort of kind of like chapter kids book to get kids into D&D. I'm very excited about that. So thank you all so much for watching. As I said earlier, we are very close to hitting 80K subscribers. And I would love if you subscribe to the channel, do so. And really the notification bell, I know that's a thing all YouTubers say. What's kind of what we're programmed to say. But it will do nothing but benefit you as I do continue to make videos. And when new books come out, there is no schedule. It's just as fast as I can make the videos and release them. But then stuff like Dragon Plus drops and it's new news, the newest of news. So I want to get that out before I go back and cover Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Then I'm going to go back after this video and get back to Wild Beyond the Witchlight coverage. Thank you everybody for understanding. I'm also going to upload a couple of YouTube shorts. I have some dice-related ones, just some short videos showing off some cool dice and stuff from Gen Con, Blacklight Reactive Dice, little ASMR dice scooping action. Dice, my shorts seem to do really good here on YouTube, and they're all dice-related, so I guess that's kind of my thing. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.